right, it's always a pleasure to have my next guest on the show. Adrian Yanez is back, and you'll see him face Davey Grant next at UFC Vegas 43 on November the 20th. Adrian, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. Super excited. Man, it's right on the corner, and I'm ready to go.
The last time we saw you, obviously, was when you finished Randy Costa back in July. What has life been like for you since, man? I got to imagine it's been pretty good.
Man, it's been great. Some ups and downs, some ups and downs with my coach passing away and everything. But after that, man, everything's been great. Everything's been great. Like he kind of envisioned a lot of these things going on for me, and like just the fact that how everything is kind of planned out, the way that he's kind of like has been calling how it's gonna plan out, has planned out, and it's like it's been really, really nice just seeing everything kind of unfold like the way he thought. So it's just really, really cool, and like that's a great experience and great. I can't sit back and kind of wallow in pity about it, about my coach passing, because he always looked at life as just as a celebration. So like I've gotten to just being more happy and just like reminiscing about the good memories and everything. So it's hard shots, hard spots, but man, overall, man, it's been great.
Well, first off, let me give you my condolences right there. I'm sorry for the passing of your coach. I did speak with Mana a little bit, and obviously he had his post fight and in cage commentary, and that obviously that guy meant a lot to everyone on your team. What is the morale like around the gym now? Are you guys starting to just like you said, remember the good times, and the mood is getting a little better?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everybody's starting to pick it back up now. It's one of those things that it was hard at first, but after everything kind of is like settling in, it's kind of just more like he always preached hard work, and always working hard and always showing up and everything. So now we're starting to get that. Like now, like it's been like for my training camp, it's been phenomenal, especially getting another guy like Rafian coming in and being able to like help solidify what we do. He's like, man, he came in, he's like, bro, he's like, y'all got some good shit. And I was like, hey, thank you. He's like, yeah. They Saul did right. He's like, and he showed me how to run a camp. He showed me how to teach fighters and train fighters. So it's been good, especially being able to go back to some of the old things that he showed us back in the day, like the old drills that we kind of almost forgot about, but needed to go back. So freshening up some old tools, it's been great. It's been really, really great as of late. So the morale has picked up so much. Like this week, like just this week, I don't know, just because camp's closing out and you can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. But man, it's been like happy. It's been super, super happy, and I've been loving it.
It's good to hear, man. And again, my condolences. Very sorry for the passing of your coach. I did want to get your take, obviously on that fight with Costa. That was a little bit nail biting, man. Like that first round was a little tough to watch if you're an Adrian Yanez fan, and you came out in the second round and looked phenomenal. Ended up starching him and finishing him, man. Run me through it. Run me through the whole thought process. What happened in the first round? What was your mindset going into the second round?
So that first round, I wasn't expecting him to come out like boxing heavy, because if you look at a lot of his fights, he's really kick heavy. He's really, really kick heavy, and I knew that I could use my head movement the way I wanted it to. Pretty much like my whole game plan for that first round was to catch a kick and counter. I wanted to catch and counter the whole entire time. But the fact that he was throwing the jab, and not only just one, he would double it up, triple it up at times, and then start throwing really good straight shots. And a testament to his coach Kevin Gleason. I've been following him since before Randy Costa joined him, but I was always a big fan of his. So honestly, like I was just like I should have put two and two together after seeing him work with that coach. And I was like, all right, but I didn't. I was expecting him to come out like a little bit with his kick heavy oriented, but he came in super boxing heavy, and that I had to take some time to adjust, because that whole training camp was just coming back, catching and countering. So, but going into that second round, when it comes to boxing, I feel like I have some of the best boxing in the division. So it was easier adjustments, especially whenever I know, like I hit him with a couple of shots in that first round where I knew it stunned him, and also those there's like a couple body shots that I threw, I could see the look on his face kind of just be like, oh, that kind of got to him. And I sensed the demeanor of like his pop didn't have the same, his he didn't have the same pop going in the last 2 minutes of that round, especially when I started pushing forward. And once I noticed, I started walking him down a little bit more easier. I was like, oh, okay, now it's my turn. It's my turn, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until the third round rings, and after that, luckily we didn't get to that. So it was just me being able to walk him down and just start throwing my combinations. If I walk anybody down and I'm like loose and I got my timing down, no one's surviving that.
I think all of us MMA fans out there already knew that you're tough and you had a chin, but one thing that I learned about you in that fight against Costa is you got an unbelievable heart too. Did you learn something extra about yourself, just how deep you can dig and come out and pull out a fight even if you're in a little bit of trouble?
Man, honestly, I always knew that about myself, so it wasn't nothing surprising to me. It was just surprising that that a lot of people still don't know. But I always kind of wanted to keep that a secret as well, because man, like I said, I've had 2 broken jaws. I know I said this in past interviews before. I've had 2 broken jaws before, and I'm still here fighting. If 2 broken jaws hasn't really like deterred me from fighting, then I don't think anything else will. Because at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing about it. Is like when someone talks about getting chin checked or getting knocked out, it's like, a jaw break is next right after that. So it's like I've had 2 of those, and even with those two jaw breaks, I never went unconscious or anything. But I'm just like, it's just kind of just like, hey, like I talk about my jaw breaks, man, I'm still fighting. It's like I think people should know that I'm a tough guy, but at the same time, hey, like it's nothing new to me. I knew I could dig deep, and I still know now I can dig deep.
What's the current status on the Dr. Pepper sponsorship?
Oh man, they sent me Dr. Pepper chocolate before it came out. I still haven't tasted it because whenever they sent it to me, I was just like in like 2 weeks into my training camp for this fight. So I was like, should I? I was like, nah, let me be a little bit. Let me hold off on this. I still got it in the fridge, ready to go. I'm probably gonna drink it live right after the fight. Like I'm really waiting for that. But also, I think we're getting close, man. I think we're getting close.
Very good. I know you had that deal or that bet worked out with Randy. Did he take good care of you? Well, how much did he send you?
Oh man, he sent me so much Dr. Pepper. The Dr. Pepper cherries, he sent me so much. I just remember just one day just opening the door and just finding that I had like it was like 3 big boxes, and I was like, I didn't order anything off Amazon. Now so I called her. I was like, hey, did you order this? It was like, no. I looked at it. I was like, it says Randy. It's like, oh, okay. So I opened it up. Those boxes were filled. He sent me easily about 132 cans of Dr. Pepper, and that lasted me for a while. Like to the point where I was taking them to parties, and I was like, man, it's like he made sure I was good. So yeah, he held up on his end of the deal. Still, man, thank you, Randy. It was delicious. I'm a big Dr. Pepper fan, but even at that point, I was just like, maybe I should take a sip of water because my kidneys can't take much more.
Fair enough, man. Now, big signature win over Randy. That makes you 3-0 now in the UFC. I got to imagine your confidence right now has to be at an all-time high leading into this fight with Davey.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have my confidence is through the roof. Not even just through my fighting. It's just through like the preparation. Like me, just like I know I prepared well. Like I know I believe in the preparation that I've had for this fight. My strength and conditioning coach, Coach Phil, he's been putting us through the ringer. He's been making sure that we've been getting good work and everything. So he's stepped up. He stepped up in a lot of other places. So he's been good. And also, man, just the preparations with my training partners. I've been having Rafi on like for these past 2 months, and then also getting acknowledged from the champ himself, Aljamain, being able to get some work in with him. All of that has boosted up my confidence even before it, because I knew that I'm preparing just as well as I ever had before. So to me, it's like my confidence came through preparation.
And I saw some pictures with you and Aljamain. So on that topic right there, I wanted to get your take on the Jan Sandhagen outcome and, what you feel like we could see from a second, fight between the champ Sterling and the interim champ Jan.
That Aljamain is gonna have to fight the most perfect fight, because man, the hardest part about Peter Yan is he was able to make incremental changes. his boxing is pretty simple. It's like he has a high guard. He has a high guard type of boxing, and then also some like more like longer shots. Like the hook isn't a short hook; it's a long hook. Like in America, we tend to throw shorter hooks than people like in the European countries. Just look at someone like Gennady Golovkin. Whenever he throws his hooks or his overhands, they're pretty long out. And you look at someone over here in the like on this side, like the Americanized, it's a shorter hook. But man, it's a hard style because Peter Yan is pretty hard. Is really hard to take down, and he also makes a lot of good reads. So Aljamain would have to sit there and like plan his takedowns, plan his shots, make sure that he's doing the right things, and also he did give up a lot of position in that first fight. He was doing things that he usually doesn't do in that first fight. And after even just talking about him, he's like, yeah, he wasn't even at his at 100% for that fight. So I'm hoping that's true because I really like Aljamain. So Peter just is one of those guys who's just gonna keep on making adjustments. So he has to keep switching it up on him, switching it up on him, switching it up on him. And in that fight with Corey Sandhagen was such a great fight. I was a fan watching, and I just remember just sitting there just being like, man, Corey Sandhagen is a tough guy, but just the fact that Peter Yan was able to like not only just make a couple adjustments, he made like 4 or 5 adjustments throughout that whole entire fight, and that's what ended up leading him to the victory. You know, so he's a great fight, and I can't wait to see him and Aljamain get locked in the cage.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, training with Aljo a little bit, did you get a chance to figure out where you're at right now as far as the top of the division?
Oh, absolutely. But it's kind of hard to gauge because Aljamain is like one of the best grapplers like in the world at the 135 division. But also it helped me see like there was a lot of small mistakes that I was getting away with for a very long time that cost big, and that it helped me realize that. And it's like it's just one of those things that like whenever you get someone who's a high level grappler, a high level wrestler, on top of that, just being able to expose the little small things that you need to work on, and just being able to move, being able to see it and just be like, damn, like okay, like overall, like it's real, like I'm at the top. But against those guys who are like really high level grapplers, like someone like Aljamain, like it's one of those that's like okay, I can't make this small detail mistake anymore. It's like I have to close that gap, and that's what I learned. And honestly, like I've already learned like tremendously a lot already, especially when I got someone else who is similar, like Aljamain, coming to train with me, like Rafian.
Yeah, no doubt. And before we dive into this particular fight with Davey and just talk about what's happening the next week or so, I got to get your thoughts on UFC 268. Oh my God, wow! How would you rank that as far as all-time UFC cards?
It's really up there. Like that fight card was really up there. I can't remember whenever there was like that the start of the pay-per-view, Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje, like holy crap, like that was such a great fight. That was such a great fight that it took away from Shane Burgos and Billy Quarantino. Like I'm sorry if I butchered his name, but Billy Q. Man, I remember just feeling the energy for like the Shane Burgos and Billy's fight, and I just remember just sitting there, just like, wow, like this is such a great fight. But that Justin Gaethje and like Michael Chandler fight, like almost like zapped my energy for this fight. This is such a great fight, though. It's like it's an amazing fight. Why does this feel like it's man, that fight itself, like on any other card, is a fight of the night fight. But since it was like right behind Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler, it's like it has to come in second place. But man, that was just, even those first 2 fights were amazing. And then on top of that, you had Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. Just like that fight to me was really good. It was really good because like at any moment, like you're just kind of just trying to see like who made the right adjustments, who's doing the right things, and at the end of the day, you can definitely see that Kamaru Usman is just levels above the competition right now.
Well, I had it 2-2 going into that 5th round. I thought Kamaru obviously won 1 and 2. I thought Colby won 3 and 4. And that 5th round, I gave it to Kamaru, but it was a close fight. I guess my whole point of what I'm saying is I'd like to see a 3rd fight. Have Colby win a couple more, have Kamaru win a couple more, and if he beats Chimaev, which to me seems like the most dangerous fighter in that division who hasn't fought for the title, then maybe match him up a third time. I don't think the fans would be too upset about it.
No, absolutely not. Well, on my me personally, I would like to see him versus Leon Edwards, or see because I would like to see Chimaev get like a top 5 guy and then fight Kamaru. So I honestly I would like to see either Leon Edwards or Chimaev fight, but I would have to see Chimaev fight one more time. Someone top 5 easily. I'd rather see that than see Kamaru fight. But I want to see Leon Edwards first because I think I think honestly with how similar those two guys are, you got Kobe and Kamaru being so similar, but you can see which guy was able to have that little bit more of an edge, and just seeing how the adjustments Kamaru has made. Because I thought that fight was going to go completely like how it did the first one, but the second fight was a little bit more telling to see who's trying to make the adjustments. And Kobe was doing things differently. He didn't really press on the gas too much, but Kamaru, he's starting to have that. He's making that power translate over into striking. And man, now it's after this, I think if they rematch again, just on the trajectory of what they've both been able to prove, I think Kamaru would come out on top again for that third fight. But I would like to see him versus Leon Edwards because I just need to see that fight.
Yeah, agreed. I've said this before. I'll say it again, but the UFC needs to pay attention to watching you do interviews and listen to you talk. You need to be on the desk sometime soon as an analyst, my friend. Just saying. All right. So you talked about camp a little bit and have Rafion in there. Obviously, Mana, one of your close friends and training partners. Overall, how has it been compared to previous camps? How good are you feeling right now leading into weight cutting week?
Man, I've felt really, really good. I've felt really, really good this training camp. I know just with Saul, not just the presence of Saul, I do feel like it did take a little bit away because it was kind of at the beginning of camp, it was almost like a lug, like a little bit of a lugging, but once we got going, we got going. There was almost no stopping. So I feel really confident with how this training camp has went. I feel like everything was already set in tempo from the very beginning. Because man, when Saul was already getting ready to retire soon. Anyways, he was only gonna come in and just watch and just give pointers here and there. He was gonna have me and my training partner Cameron be running the fighters camps and everything. So it happened a little bit earlier than we expected, because that was supposed to be a 3-year process of him just retiring. But the fact that it happened a little bit earlier, it sucks. But also, man, we just kicked into another gear because, man, one of the things that he always preaches hard work, and that's one thing that we're gonna continue to do is hard work. And the way he lived, the way he wanted us to the way he wanted the legacy to be passed on is that everybody still trained, everybody showed up, and everybody worked hard whenever they were in the gym. And that's the legacy that I want to keep behind. And man, it's been a great camp. It's been a really, really great camp, especially whenever I got it's been a lot really, really, really helpful because the strength and conditioning coach, Coach Phil, he's been peeking his head in a little bit for the sparring, the wrestling. He's done some combative sports, so he knows how to throw punches and everything and do all that other stuff. I'm gonna give him a little bit of credit there, but no, just having him around, just having him there the morality of it was really, really good. Because we already know how to train. We already know how to train for the fights and how Saul had it implemented for us to go. So, man, it's been great. Just having the extra hey, why you're doing this. Let's do this. So it's been cool.
So we're about a week out right now. What's the weight at? Are you right on schedule?
Oh yeah, everything's been great. I've been working with Icon Meals and then the UFC guys, Charles Stool, one of the head nutritionists over there, and just being able to work with him. He's been sending me meal ideas. He's been sending me all this stuff, and we've been in close contact these past couple of weeks. Be like, hey, we want to start changing calories. We've been doing a lot of good things with nutrition. And I felt really, really great. And I'm actually lower this time around than I was for Randy's fight and Gustavo. So, man, I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
All right, Davey Grant. He's 4-3 in the UFC. He's coming off a UD loss to Marlon Vera. And I was telling you before we went live, man, it just seems like this matchup is tailor-made to get you another 50 G, another performance bonus, because you know he's going to come forward and he's going to want to slug it out. How do you like this matchup for yourself? And do you envision that's exactly what the fans are going to get?
Oh, exactly. Davey Grant is just one of those guys who's going to come and try to knock your head off, especially since he's knocked a couple people out already and made it look really spectacular. Like I think he loves that. And now after seeing that, he's like, he can do it. He's going to try to do it to me. But also, I'm that guy that's 3-0 in the UFC with 3 knockouts. So he has to come a little bit he's going to have to come a little bit antsy, because if he shows those tendencies that I've seen in these last couple fights, man, it's not going to be a long night for me. I'm going to have a really great night. So I think it's going to be a fun fight. If he can take my shots, then it's going to be a really fun fight. Three round decision for me. But it's going to be a fight of the night with how much I punch him in the face.
Technically, just from my vantage point, watching him and watching you seem to just be technically the better fighter in there. Like, you're not going to make as many mistakes, and I feel like you'd have the advantage on the feet. Do you envision this to be a quick night? Like, what's your prediction here for this one?
I definitely see a finish, but I do see a finish around closer in the second round, but late second, early third, if that makes sense. But yeah, I do see it. He is a little bit of a herky-jerky type of guy, so he does move a little bit, like a little bit sporadic. So you do have to take into account, and have to be very, like I say it all the time, you got to be on your P's and Q's. You got to be really on it that night. You can't be dropping your hands. You can't automatically drop your hands and think that you're not going to get knocked out. The guy has power, and he's going to try to put it on you. So, man, I do see a lot of tendencies that he does, though, and I really like me. I was like, yes, please keep those tendencies, because I'm going to expose them during the fight.
Very good, man. I cannot wait here. If you go in there, you get the win, you don't take any damage. Are you going to take a little time off during the holidays, or do you want to get right back in there?
I am going to take a little bit of time off during the holidays. I have a lot of things in life that have been coming, and it's been a blessing. So, yeah, I am going to take a little bit of a time off, and then probably come back at the end of March, April. It won't even be like I took any time off. I'm just gonna like slow things down, because this year has been a lot. So I kind of want to just be able to like slow things down for a little bit right before I ramp it back up for 2022. So because 2022, that's whenever I for sure want to be in the top 15. Like, I want to make a stake. I'm gonna grab the Team Yanez flag. I'm gonna throw it at the top and be like, that's where I want to be at. So staking my claim, and I want to make sure that whenever I'm there, like I'm there, like no one can touch me. So that's my plans. Those are my goals, and man, it's all there for me to make it.
Yeah, no doubt about it, my friend. Adrian Yanez, always a pleasure to talk to you again. UFC Vegas 43, November the 20th. Bantamweight bout. Adrian will face Davey Grant. Before I let you go, man, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to find you on social media, and if you have anyone to thank, floor is yours.
Man, follow me on Instagram at Adrian Yanez 93, at Twitter, Yanez MMA. If you're not following me on either, you're missing out, bro. You're missing out. But also a big shout out to my coach, Sauce Elise. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in the position I am today. Big thank you to him, man. He started off everything for me. So, and then also a big shout out to my coach, to Coach Phil. Yeah, he's been harking on me. He's like, man, every interview you'll never give me a shout out. I was like, yeah, whatever, man. Nah, so I'm giving him his just due, because he's done a lot for me in this camp, and he's been very instrumental with a lot of things that we do, and I gotta thank him so much for that. And then also shout out to my management team, Meridian Sports Agency, Jason House, Ed Cap, Jacob Parga, Lance, Jeremy. Man, they all do amazing things for me. I know I'm probably missing a couple, but there's a lot of those guys. Thank you so much, and thank you for the platform.